Hey everyone, Deer Gal here, and speaking of deers, today I'm showing you the creation of the Megaloceros habitat that I made recently. Now, I love Megaloceros. It's a giant deer that lived in what is now Ireland, to my knowledge. Back then, I'm pretty sure it was Doggerland, is what the landmass was called, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a geologist. I am just someone who really likes paleontology. And Megaloceros is one of my favorite creatures in Prehistoric Kingdom, so I decided, why? Might as well make an exhibit for it. Also, I really like the snowy rocks in this game, and I just wanted to use that, you know? I also wanted to make a sort of like cave, not cave, archway. So I thought this was a better excuse than ever to use one. Excuse me. So yeah, crazy week it's been, right? A lot of scary things happened, but hey, now you're watching a video and you can hopefully ignore all the scary stuff that's happening in the world and just, think about funny giant deer. So, Megaloceros used to be called the Irish elk, despite it not being an elk at all. And I think that's kind of interesting. Like, how throughout time and throughout our studies, we slowly find out more and more about these amazing animals. Right here, I'm just making a roof because it just seems right, you know? I don't know why, I just felt the vibe of a roof. I'm also going to add some lights to the floor because, well, there's a roof, so you might want some extra lighting. And here I am right now, excuse me, getting some extra rocks to fill out the exhibit, give it some more texture. Speaking of texture, the terrain texture in this game is just gorgeous, and I love it so much. Excuse me. This build took me only about 30 minutes to make, so that is a huge time saver, you know? I'm working on a script for the second channel that I'll promote later on, but I still don't know what I'm gonna call it, you know? So again, please leave suggestions not only for Prehistoric Kingdom, but for that, like name suggestions, particularly. Sorry, I don't really speak too well. And here I am adding my beloved waterfall. I love waterfalls. Waterfalls just make this game just it adds so much depth and movement to an enclosure. And that's something that I try and like talk about when people ask me for advice in Minecraft and art and Prehistoric Kingdom. I'm like, add some visual, add a nice flair, whether it's movement, whether it's texture, whether it's color. Add that flair that your eyes get drawn to. Here I am adding the babies because, oh my god, the babies are just ridiculously adorable. And here I am, flashbang alert. I'm adding the snow in, so it's going to be a little bright on the eyes, so I apologize for that. I'm going to texture it out with some of the gravel to add a walkway, basically, where the Megaloceros would mostly be walking. You see this a lot in habitats where there's just almost a dirt path. Typically, that's not carved out by the zookeepers. That's carved out by the animals themselves walking through the habitat, and I think it's very interesting. Um, I'm just gonna, I'm just adding some feeders right near the front, so when the animals feed, the guests get to see that feeding right up close and personal. Excuse me. Here I am just adding a gate. I'm pretty sure I don't even put it here. I'm not entirely. No, I put it here. Yeah. This is just so that way I can have the signage to be like, hey, look, we have there's an animal in this exhibit. I really wish it wasn't required to have an exhibit for those signs. I wish you could just place a sign and customize which animal you want to put on that sign, but hey ho, I don't entirely mind. It's just a little tedious. And here comes my favorite part, the foliage. I love the foliage brush in this game, the foliage choices in this game. It's just all so beautiful. It's surprisingly easy to make something beautiful in this game. I am not a good builder. I have like 30 hours in this game, and I've only got it like a couple months ago. So still, like, even with someone that has my limited amount of skill in modular building game, this is my first ever modular building game, by the way. So I got this to prepare for Jurassic World Evolution 3, which, when that comes out, I will likely mostly be doing that for my channel. Adding some extra rocks to make it feel enclosed, and I don't know why there's so many people over here. Like, I get it. Megaloceros is probably, like, a high-rated animal in this game. Also, removing some of the smoke from the other day's video. By the way, that video flopped, and I think it's because I said a swear word, so I'm probably going to swear less. So, my bad. I'm going to start saying frick and doo-doo more. Ugh, I hated saying that. Oh my god. Here I am adding decorational foliage, my beloved. It's one of my favorite things to add in games like these. I love flowers. I think I'm checking DMs right here. So ignore the pause. I'll probably cut that out later. Or not. Whatever. It didn't take that long. And here I'm adding a shelter. Now, the reason why I put in the floor first is because, for whatever reason, if you don't, like, moving it is very awkward, and I'm just saving myself a headache for later. I actually scrapped a lot of this and replaced them with logs. So, you know, don't these are the logs I believe I'm gonna replace those ones with, or not. I don't actually remember. Yeah, I don't think I do, actually. Huh, never mind. I'm misremembering. Anyways, here's me checking my phone again. Yeah, so I also add the bedding for the animal. There we go. Little bedding area. And I do squish this back part in because I wanted to see it, so we just squish that in a little bit, and I get rid of some of the beds because I don't like seeing the notification. I wish you could just turn off notifications in this game. And here's the lights, because I assume that during the nighttime, the Megaloceros would probably want some lights, and just to not be like, you know, it'd be, like, so dark, because they are mammals, and mammals like heat, and they don't like to be scared. And here I am adding lights. I see these in a couple exhibits around in my research. I don't entirely remember where or what, but I think they look really good. So, you know, the rule of cool trumps anything that is for realism. Anyways, here's me getting a screenshot. You can see me struggling, so I cut that out. And there's the NVIDIA notification. Me getting the screenshot, and here we're onto the glamour shots now. This is longer than typical because I couldn't be bothered. The third shot is when I went to go to the bathroom, so that's why it's a lot longer. So, you know, there's that. Well, anyways, I don't do outros. Have a good one, y'all.